Gentlemen, if it's been months, maybe even years since you've had a strong, reliable erection, I need you to hear something before you blame your age. Because in my clinic, I've watched men in their 60s, 70s, even their 80s get firm, full erections again without popping a single pill. And here's the part that still surprises me after more than 20 years of practicing urology. For a lot of these guys, the answer wasn't at the pharmacy. It was sitting right there in their kitchen. 4 fruits. That's it. 4 everyday fruits that research has shown can help unclog the tiny blood vessels in the penis, the same ones that start losing function first as we get older. When you get that blood flowing again, everything shifts. Your energy comes back, your confidence comes back. And for a lot of men, intimacy starts feeling the way it did decades ago. I'm Dr. Claire Weston, a board-certified urologist and men's health specialist. I've spent over 20 years helping men take back their performance naturally. I've worked with veterans, retirees, husbands, grandfathers, guys from every walk of life across this country. And what I'm about to share with you today has helped so many of them reconnect with a part of themselves they thought was gone for good. Now here's what most people get wrong. It's not low testosterone that's wrecking your performance. It's not even your birthday candles adding up. In the majority of cases, it's poor circulation. And the beautiful thing about that, circulation can be improved, sometimes dramatically, just by changing what you eat. These 4 fruits can help your body produce more nitric oxide, clean up your artery walls, and restore sensitivity and function. No drugs, no needles, no nasty side effects. So stick with me, because in the next few minutes, I'll walk you through all 4 fruits, exactly how they work inside your body, and which one can start making a difference in under 30 minutes. I'll also cover something the original version of this conversation missed entirely, whether these fruits are safe if you're dealing with diabetes or kidney issues, because I know a lot of you are asking that question, and you deserve a straight answer. Before we jump in, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell. I put out science-backed health tips specifically for men over 60, and I don't want you to miss a single one. And if you're ready to take back control of how you feel, drop a comment below. Tell me where you're watching from. I read every single one. All right, let's start with the truth that most men are never told, because this is the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about. If your erections have been getting weaker over time, it's not just because you're getting older. What's actually happening inside your blood vessels is the real story. And once you understand it, everything changes. Over the years, I've sat across from hundreds, probably thousands of men who look me in the eye and ask, "Doc, is it normal to not feel like a man anymore?" And every time it hits me right in the chest. Because too many of these guys have been fed the same tired line by other doctors. Well, you're just getting older, it happens. But that's not the whole truth. Age by itself isn't what's stealing your performance. Here's what's really going on. Your blood vessels, especially the small ones that supply the penis, are narrowing. They're stiffening up. They're losing the flexibility they had when you were younger. And that matters a lot because a healthy erection depends on fast, strong blood flow. When those tiny vessels start getting clogged, blood can't reach where it needs to go. And without blood flow, there's no firmness, no sensation, no performance. Now, here's the part that catches most men off guard. The arteries in the penis are some of the smallest in your entire body. That means they're often the very first ones to get blocked, long before you'd ever have a heart attack or a stroke. Your body's already sending you a signal through changes in your intimacy. It's like a warning light on your dashboard. And if you ignore it, well, that whisper turns into a shout. But here's the part that gives me hope every single day in my practice. If poor circulation is what's causing the problem, then improving circulation can be the start of the solution. You don't have to just accept this. You can push back. Naturally. And that's exactly where food becomes your medicine. Because coming up, I'm going to walk you through 4 everyday fruits, nothing exotic, nothing expensive, that have the power to support your circulation, help clear out those clogged vessels, and bring your body and your confidence back to life. The first one is so effective, some of my patients call it nature's Viagra. Let's get into it. I still remember a patient of mine. Let's call him Ray. He was 71, a retired firefighter out of Chicago, built like a brick house, tough as nails. But when he walked into my office that afternoon, he wouldn't look me in the eye. He sat down, cleared his throat, and said, "Doc, everything still works except the one thing that matters most." He tapped his knee, frustrated, embarrassed. He didn't want pills. He'd already been down that road and hated the side effects, the headaches, the flushing. He just wanted to feel like himself again. That's when I told him about pomegranate. Pomegranate is loaded with antioxidants, especially a compound called punicalagin, which supports your body's production of nitric oxide. And nitric oxide is the key that tells your blood vessels to relax, open up, and let more blood flow through. When that flow improves, so does firmness, so does sensitivity. And for a lot of men, so does the confidence that's been missing. Research has shown that men who drank pomegranate juice daily saw measurable improvements in erection quality. But it doesn't stop there. This fruit also helps fight inflammation, supports prostate health, and protects your heart, 3 things every man over 60 needs to be paying attention to. Ray started having a small glass of pure pomegranate juice with lunch, no sugar added, just the real stuff. About 3 weeks later, he came back to see me, and this time he was grinning. "Doc, I didn't need a prescription. It's actually working." That's the power of this fruit. It works quietly, steadily, and without side effects. You can drink the juice, eat the seeds straight, toss them in a smoothie, whatever fits your routine. Now, a quick note here, because I know some of you are going to ask. If you have kidney disease or you're on a potassium-restricted diet, talk to your doctor before drinking pomegranate juice regularly. It's naturally high in potassium, and for most people that's fine, but if your kidneys aren't filtering the way they should, you want to be careful. Don't skip it out of fear. Just have that conversation with your physician first. Now, while pomegranate is powerful, the next fruit on my list does something even more surprising. It contains a natural amino acid that your body converts into a blood flow booster. And when you time it right, you can feel the difference in under 30 minutes. A few years back, I was visiting family down in Georgia during the summer. It was one of those sticky, sweltering August afternoons, and my uncle cut up a whole watermelon on the back porch. We sat there eating slices, juice running down our arms, laughing about nothing. And he said something that stuck with me. "Claire, I swear this stuff makes me feel 20 years younger." I laughed it off at the time, but later that night I started looking into the research, and what I found floored me. Watermelon isn't just a cookout staple. It's packed with a compound called L-citrulline. Your body takes that L-citrulline and converts it into L-arginine, which then boosts nitric oxide production, the exact chemical responsible for relaxing blood vessels and driving blood flow. And this isn't just theory. Clinical studies have shown that men who consume L-citrulline regularly experience firmer, more sustainable erections, especially with consistent use. But here's what makes watermelon special. The L-citrulline in it comes naturally balanced with water, electrolytes, and antioxidants. It hydrates you, supports your circulation, and helps bring down blood pressure, all from one fruit. I had a patient, a retired truck driver in his early 70s, who swapped out his nightly bowl of ice cream for a bowl of chilled watermelon. Didn't change anything else. Within a few weeks, he told me he felt a noticeable difference, not just in performance, but in how rested he felt in the morning and how much more energy he had during the day. This fruit works best when you make it part of your routine. A few slices in the evening, blended into a smoothie, eaten cold after a walk. Simple, delicious, and backed by science. Now, for those of you managing diabetes, here's the thing. Watermelon does have natural sugars and a moderately high glycemic index, which means it can raise your blood sugar if you eat too much at once. But in reasonable portions, a cup or so, most diabetic patients can enjoy it without a problem. Just keep an eye on your portions. Don't drink it as juice where the sugar hits faster, and talk to your doctor about how it fits into your overall plan. The fruit itself isn't off limits. It's about being smart with how much you have. All right, the next fruit is one you've probably had 1,000 times without thinking twice about it. It's small, easy to overlook, but it contains a rare antioxidant that's been shown to support both testosterone levels and blood flow. Once you understand what it can do, you'll never look at it the same way. I'll never forget a patient named Walter. He was 74, a quiet guy, married to his high school sweetheart for over 50 years. He didn't come to me about performance, at least not at first. He came in because he was exhausted all the time, moody, and feeling disconnected from his wife. He figured it was just what getting older felt like. But as we talked, it became clear that his energy, his confidence, and his intimacy had all faded together. So we made one simple change. I told him to start eating a small handful of black grapes every day. Black grapes don't look like much sitting in a bowl, but they are loaded with a powerful antioxidant called resveratrol. This compound helps relax blood vessels, improve the function of the endothelial lining, and even support healthy testosterone levels, all things that are critical for men past 60. Resveratrol also helps reduce oxidative stress, which is one of those hidden factors quietly driving inflammation and poor circulation throughout your body. And unlike some supplements that come with a list of side effects, black grapes are gentle, natural, and easy to enjoy. A cup a day, fresh or frozen, can make a real difference over time. Walter started eating them as an afternoon snack, just a small bowl between meals. Within about a month, his mood lifted, his energy started coming back, and yes, things improved with his wife too. He told me, "Doc, it's like somebody turned the lights back on in my life." That's what I love about real food as medicine. It doesn't just fix one thing, it brings you back to life in ways you didn't expect. Now, the last fruit on my list is one most of you have had for breakfast your entire life without realizing how powerful it really is. It works like a gentle scrub brush for the inside of your arteries. And when you use it consistently, it helps restore blood flow from the inside out. Years ago, a longtime patient of mine, a retired civil engineer named Frank, walked into my office carrying a little spiral notebook. He'd been tracking everything, what he ate, how much he walked, how he slept, all of it. He was determined to get better without adding more prescriptions to his pile. As we flipped through his notes together, one thing jumped out. Every single morning, he squeezed fresh oranges and drank a glass of juice. Not from concentrate, not from a carton, the real deal. And I smiled because without knowing it, Frank had been doing one of the smartest things possible for his circulation. Citrus fruits, oranges, grapefruits, lemons, limes are some of the most underrated tools for restoring vascular health. They're rich in flavonoids, especially one called hesperidin, which helps strengthen blood vessel walls, reduce inflammation, and improve the flexibility of your arteries. That means better blood flow, not just to your heart or your brain, but to the lower body, exactly where so many older men are struggling. Citrus also supports healthy blood pressure and fights oxidative stress, both of which are essential for long-term vascular health. I always tell my patients this. Think of your arteries like garden hoses. The cleaner and more flexible they are, the better the water flows. Frank didn't overhaul his entire life. He just kept squeezing those oranges every morning. Over time, he felt lighter, sharper, more energetic. He told me his morning walks got easier and his evenings got a whole lot better. Sometimes it really is the small daily rituals that change everything. If you want to start simple, slice up an orange with breakfast tomorrow. Squeeze some lemon into your water throughout the day. Add half a grapefruit to your lunch. These aren't just fruits. They're quiet protectors working behind the scenes to keep your blood flowing the way it should. Now, a quick word for my patients managing diabetes, because I know this matters to a lot of you. Citrus fruits do contain natural sugars, but they also have fiber, especially when you eat the whole fruit, instead of just drinking the juice. That fiber slows down sugar absorption and keeps your blood glucose more stable. A whole orange is a much better choice than a glass of orange juice if you're watching your levels. Grapefruit is another great option since it tends to be lower in sugar. Just check with your doctor if you're on any medications, especially statins or blood pressure drugs, because grapefruit can interact with certain prescriptions. All right, now here's the thing. These fruits are powerful on their own, but they work even better when you pair them with a few simple daily habits. And I'm not talking about anything crazy. No gym memberships, no marathon training, just smart, small moves that fit into the life you're already living. Start with walking. A 20-minute walk each day helps increase blood flow, loosen up stiff arteries, and support your heart. I had a patient in his late 60s, a retired postal worker from Denver, who started walking once after breakfast and once after dinner. Within a few weeks, his blood pressure came down, and he noticed more fullness during arousal without changing a single other thing. Then there's hydration. Your blood is about 90% water. If you're dehydrated, your circulation suffers, period. Most men over 60 aren't drinking nearly enough. Aim for several glasses throughout the day, especially first thing in the morning when your body's been without water all night. Sleep matters more than most guys realize. Testosterone production, blood pressure regulation, vascular repair, all of that happens while you're resting. Poor sleep quietly robs you of your energy, your drive, and your performance. If you're snoring, waking up groggy, or tossing and turning all night, bring it up with your doctor. It could be the missing piece. And finally, cut back on the stuff that's working against you. Processed meats, fried foods, excessive alcohol. These damage the endothelial lining of your arteries, the exact same lining that all 4 of these fruits are trying to heal and protect. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. Small efforts done daily add up to powerful changes over time. Now, how long before you actually see results? That's the question everyone asks, and I want to be honest with you. Some men notice subtle improvements within a couple of weeks, more energy, better mood, a little more firmness. For others, it takes a month or 2 of consistent effort before the bigger changes show up. The key word there is consistent. This isn't a one-time fix. It's a lifestyle shift. And the men who stick with it are the ones who come back to my office smiling. If you've made it this far, I want to speak to you directly for a moment. Not as your doctor, but as someone who's spent 2 decades watching men go through exactly what you might be dealing with right now. I know this topic isn't easy. Losing that sense of strength, that closeness, that ability to show up for your partner the way you want to. It's not just physical. It hits your pride. It affects your relationships. It can shake your whole sense of who you are. And way too many men sit with that pain alone, convinced it's just how things are now. But now you know the truth. Weakening erections after 60 aren't always about aging. They're about circulation. And circulation can be supported, improved, and in many cases restored through food, through movement, through simple daily habits that honor the body you've built over a lifetime. You've learned about 4 powerful fruits today: pomegranate, watermelon, black grapes, and citrus. Each one works in its own way to restore blood flow, nourish your arteries, and help you feel more like the man you remember being. And when you pair them with daily walks, better sleep, proper hydration, and cutting back on the foods that clog you up, you create the conditions for real, lasting change. I've seen it happen with my own eyes. Men who thought it was over. Men who felt ashamed or broken or invisible. They came back to life. I've watched the spark return in their eyes, the strength come back in their voices, and the confidence show up in every step they take. Not from a magic pill, from honoring their body with the right fuel and the right habits. If they can do it, so can you. You're not too old, it's not too late, and your best days aren't behind you. Start small, start today. Grab a pomegranate, slice up some watermelon, toss a handful of grapes into a bowl, squeeze a lemon into your water, because the moment you decide to take control of your circulation is the moment everything starts changing from the inside out. Now, if this spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with a friend, a brother, a neighbor, anyone who could use a little hope today. Hit that like button. It helps more men find this information. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And leave me a comment below. Tell me which of these 4 fruits you're going to try first. I read every single comment, and I'd love to hear your story. You're not alone in this. Let's keep moving forward together.